Hello students, today we'll be starting with Geography Chapter 3 Exogenetic Processes. Before we start, we'll just clear the term. What do you mean by exogenetic? Exogenetic processes are those processes which operate on or close to the surface of the earth. Okay, so these processes are such which operate on the earth or close to the earth. So that means these processes are something which are outside, which occur outside the earth. Now in the previous chapter we had done endogenetic movement which was within the earth. Okay, what processes take place within the earth. Now we are going to do exogenetic, means the processes which occur outside the earth, and we'll see what are the causes for this, why these processes happen. Now in the previous chapter we had seen many landforms are formed due to the internal movements. Now there are many processes on the surface of the earth which lead to formation or degradation of land continuously. So these processes go on continuously. So here we will study about these processes and the various landforms which are formed by them. Now why do these external processes occur? Now they occur because of the forces which act on the earth's surface. Now the main energy or the force which we have on earth is solar energy. Solar energy is one reason. Then there is the other, that is the gravitational pull, gravitational force of the earth. Then there is the kinetic energy associated with moving objects on the surface of the earth. So these are the forces which bring about these changes or processes. Now take this one thing into consideration. When the landforms which are formed due to the result of internal movements, in the earlier chapter we had seen, so those landforms are termed as primary and secondary landforms. For example, the continents, mountains, plateaus, plains are examples of internal movement of the earth. So they are known as the primary and secondary landforms. Now, because of the external processes like weathering, erosion, transportation, deposition, the primary and secondary landforms give way to the tertiary landforms. तो जब इन सारे प्रोसेस की वजह से न्यू लैंडफॉर्म्स बनते हैं फ्रॉम द प्राइमरी एंड सेकेंडरी लैंडफॉर्म्स, new landforms are created because of these changes occurring. Those are known as the tertiary landforms, such as valleys, dunes, delta, U-shaped valleys, etc. We'll see what are all these landforms which are created. Now we'll just have a look at the rocks which have undergone through different processes, and we'll see how they have broken, cracked, or they have holes. See, here is an example of exfoliation. This is block disintegration. Block means big blocks are disintegrated, means separated. Here is an example of shattering. Shattering means breaking. There are cracks on the rock and it starts breaking. Then here we can see an example of chemical weathering, that is oxidation. You can see the iron which is there in the rock, it is rusting, it is becoming reddish over there. This is biological weathering, weathering caused due to animals. This is also one part of biological weathering, where you can see the roots of the trees are breaking up the rocks. You can see here again chemical weathering, the statue is deformed, there are holes and it is breaking. Then this is also a example of chemical weathering or salt weathering. Now first we'll understand what is weathering. Breaking or weakening of rocks is a natural phenomenon. Of course it is occurring naturally, so it is called as a natural phenomenon. This breaking up of rocks is called as weathering. Weathering can be of three types: mechanical, chemical and biological. Okay, you need to underline these part. Then in arid climates, mechanical weathering is dominant. In arid climate means in hot climates. Then while in humid climates, chemical weathering, humid means where there is moisture as well as heat, यानी कि medium. The climate is not either hot nor cold. So there we can observe chemical weathering over there. Biological weathering occurs because of living organisms. So wherever there are living organisms, you may find biological weathering taking place. Now we'll see what is mechanical weathering. So we can take an example of an onion. You know how an onion has different layers. When we start peeling it, there is another layer inside it. Same way, in nature also rocks undergo such a process. The exposed part, यानी कि जो part which is outside, which is, you know, the part which is exposed to heat, sun's heat, to rain and other, natural climatic weather. What happens to that part? The exposed part of the rock heats more, while the inner part is cool. So as a result, what happens? The outer rocks fall apart from the main rock. So this process is known as the exfoliation of the rock, यानी कि breaking up of the outermost cover of the rock due to intense heat and pressure. So here you can see there is the exfoliation process which is shown on a rock. Now we have seen that mechanical weathering can be of three types: mechanical, physical, and mechanical, that is physical, chemical, and biological. So mechanical weathering occurs because of these following reasons: temperature, frost, crystal growth, release of pressure, and water. Now we'll see in detail how these factors cause mechanical weathering. So we'll see now how temperature plays an important role in mechanical weathering. See, rocks are made up of minerals. Now when minerals are heated, they contract or they expand. Okay, when minerals are heated, they expand, and when the temperature decreases, they contract. So when something expands and contracts continuously, what happens? There is tension developed in the rock particles. Now when there is tension developed in the rock particles, what happens? The rock starts breaking consequently. See, now here I can give an example. If a stone or a rock is in a desert area, okay, for example, and it is exposed to very intense heat during the day, so what happens? The minerals in the rock will expand. And when we talk about desert areas, the night time it is very cool. So what happens? Again, the minerals in the rock will contract. So now this continuous expanding and contracting for many times, you can say it goes on for many days and months, then ultimately what happens? The rock starts breaking. So this is how temperature plays a role in weathering of rocks. Now we come to the next, that is frost.